Welcome back to Research Design Build. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to install this LED light that I purchased from Costco and is made by Artika. Here is the light. It is dimmable, and we've got some different color settings as well. And then you've also got the ability to adjust the overall height. Once you have everything out of the box, the first step is going to be to assemble the light. Now everything is pre-wired for you, so although it looks a little daunting, it is very easy. All you have to do is feed the wires for each individual light back into the main central body of the light, and then screw in each little metal pole here into the base, which supports the light and holds it at its prescribed angle. Now when you do get to the top pieces here, you can use the base of the lights to kind of support it off the ground. You just got to be very careful that you're not overly stressing or overly pushing down on it, because it is still fairly fragile. As I got to the last few lights, it did become a little bit increasingly hard to get the cable to run smoothly back into the center of the light fixture. So you will have to sort of give them a little wiggle and get the wires to sit in there nicely, so that you can thread these in fully. With the light fully assembled, we're ready to move on to the supporting poles that is going to hang down from the ceiling. So you have several different sections here. They're kind of like tent poles that you can thread together, and they've got a hole down the center for the wires. Now, depending on whether you use all of these or just a few of these will determine how far this is going to hang down from your ceiling. Now you can start fishing the wires for the light through the threaded rods, and thread in as many sections as you need to get the height or distance from the ceiling that you're looking for. They have made this quite easy and connected all of the wires together at the one end, so that it does make it easy to thread them through the rods. Next up is fishing the wires for the light up into the light base, and then securing the light base onto the supporting rods by threading that in. Now the base will have all of the electronics on it, such as the drivers for the lights and transformers and that sort of thing that are needed to make the light function, as well as the selector switch for the color temperature that you're looking for the light. So if you're looking for a very bright sort of outdoor sunlight, then you're looking at sort of the 6000 Kelvin or 6000 K. And if you're looking for a warmer light, then you're looking to turn that down to like the 2700K and anywhere in between there based on your preferences. Now we're going to connect the power wires for the lights into the base. And for those, they've already got a pre-terminated little quick connect here. Now you just need to push down on the little paddles sort of thing on top, and then push the pre-stripped wires into the corresponding terminals. So we're just matching white with white, red with red, and yellow with yellow. Once you've got these in, I'd just give them a little tug, make sure that they are securely fastened and that they aren't going to slip out. With all of these connected, we can sort of spool up the remaining cable and tuck it into the base here. You can ultimately cut these shorter and strip the wires, but I always like to leave myself a little bit of spare room here in case I ever want to come back later and lower the light. I will have enough cable to do so. One cool feature with this light is that there is this little tether here with this carabiner. And so with this base plate that is going to be mounted to the ceiling here, that does give you a nice attachment point so that when you are doing the final connections for the wiring, that you don't have to have 4 different hands to hold the light fixture while also securing the electrical connections. Before I show you how to finish off the final bit of this installation, I wanted to let you know that I did do a full DIY basement renovation. I have covered all of that on my channel. So everything from subfloor installation to wiring to how to do trim and painting. I also cover topics like installing in-floor heat and tiling, backsplash, and cabinet installation. All of that is covered on my channel in various videos, and I do try to show the entire process. Unlike other DIY videos where people are kind of showing a really Coles Notes, really quick version of how to do it without going into the details, I try to cover all of the details and all the little bits along the way, so that if you're actually trying to do these projects on your own and not learning this for the first time, or you just need a refresher, that I will cover all the steps and won't leave anything out for you. Let's get back to this light installation, but keep in mind if you're looking for how to do anything else in your renovation, I probably got a video for that. So here I am removing the temporary construction light that I had while I figured out what kind of light I was going to be installing in this location. So here I've just got the black power wire and the white neutral wire that I'm disconnecting. And if you are replacing an existing light in your house, it's going to be very similar to this. There might be a ground wire coming down to it as well, but basically you're going to have the ground wire, a white neutral, and a black power wire that you are going to have to disconnect at the light fixture. Now would probably be an appropriate time to remind you to make sure that you've turned off power to the circuit before doing any of this electrical wiring on an existing circuit. Best way to do this is to turn off power at the breaker switch and then use a light switch to make sure that power is in fact off to this particular light. With the old light removed, it is time to mount the mounting plate for the new light to the existing box. So there'll be 2 screws here that you'll be using to secure them. And basically you're just trying to line it up so that you've got it sort of remotely square to one of the walls so that you've got kind of a nice finished look when you do install the 2 screws that secure the light fixture to this base. There will also be a ground screw as well on this base, so the ground wire coming out of your receptacle box can make contact with that ground as well as to the ground on the light itself. Now here's where that carabiner comes in very handy. So you can grab that carabiner and connect that to one of the holes in the base plate, and that's going to hold the light up for you to do all of your electrical connections. So here we got 3 last electrical connections that we need to make between the house and your light. And this is the black power wire, the white neutral, and the first one that I always connect is the ground. So that's going to be the bare copper wire. With the copper wire ground connected, both between the light and the house as well as to the base plate, then we can use a Moret to connect the white neutral wires together and then the black power wires. As an added step here, I do like to add electrical tape and wrap those Morets. It just gives me an extra bit of security that everything is attached, and I wrap that electrical wire all the way down the Moret and then onto the wire itself to ensure that the Moret isn't going to come spinning off when I'm pushing this into place and getting it finally secured. All the electrical is now complete, and so all there is to do is to make sure that we neatly tuck the electrical connections and wiring up into that box in the ceiling. And then we've got 2 screws sort of 180 degrees apart from each other that is going to go into that base unit and secure it to the ceiling. This is where the orientation of the base plate kind of matters a little bit, because it is going to dictate where these little screws are. Now they are painted black, so they blend in, but if you're a stickler for detail, you're probably going to want these orientated in reference to the areas on the wall rather than sitting on some kind of odd angle. It doesn't make much sense. And that's how you install a pendant light that you found on sale at Costco. Now this procedure would apply to pretty much any other light. There's going to be some minor differences in sort of the connector style for the wiring and that sort of thing, but overall the principles are going to be exactly the same. I hope you enjoyed this video. If this video helped you out on your own home renovations, please give it a like, give me a comment, and make sure to subscribe.